Alright, it's time for the May recap video. Okay, so all videos mentioned will be in the cards thingies that go up there. This video is a continuation of the series about me changing my life in a year. I have the first video up that explains everything, and I've got other videos that continue that explanation, and basically there's a video every month of me talking about what I'm doing what I did the past month. Does that make sense? There's a playlist. It's called the 2020 Experience. That is a reference. I couldn't think of the word. It's a reference to Justin Timberlake's album, The 2020 Experience, which is one of my favorite albums, even though it's really funky and it's not one of the best albums in the world, but I really like it. So the playlist is called The 2020 Experience, what is it called? 2020 Experience, Changing My Life in a Year, or something like that, because it's 2020. And even though 2020 has been a disaster, 2020 is supposed to be my year to fix my life. So I'm just trying to stay strong and do what I've got to do, what I planned out for this year, despite the state of the world right now. And we're not going to talk about that in this video because it's too much. Okay, so I felt like this had to be said, even though I wish it didn't have to be said. I'm not trying to avoid the conversation because I think it doesn't apply to me or it's not my problem. I'm just saying this because I know that some people might assume things, because nowadays everyone assumes the worst. So I'm just not talking about it because I think that it is not the time and the place to talk about such a heavy and controversial topic. It's not the time and the place. So that's why I'm not talking about it. And since I guess people are expected to say whatever, the one thing I will say is I have always been against racism, always will be. It should just be obvious and clear that it is the only morally correct thing. I cannot believe that in 2020 we are still having these conversations and it's still being an issue. And I know when people say it's 2020 or whatever year it is, it's like, well, why does that matter that it's a new year? It matters because we should be past this stuff. And I'm just like, can't believe this is an issue right now. But I guess it is, and it's the topic of the moment. So yes, like I said, it's just, I never thought that in my lifetime it'd have to be a thing, because I thought that my generation would be past this. But I fear that my generation is not looking so good right now. So I don't even know how to explain it, but like I said, people assume the worst of everybody, and this is just, like I said, this is why I'm not having this conversation right now, because it's a whole thing, and this is not the time and the place. But last thing I will say is that if anyone is racist, they're an idiot. Not every idiot is a racist. But yeah, I don't like to waste time on stupid people. So if anyone's racist, they're stupid, and I hate that we even have to talk about this stuff anymore because they're just losers. But I just needed to say all this because if I didn't, somebody might someday in the future be like, why did you say this? So I had to clear up the reason why I'm not opening this whole conversation in a video, that it's not the appropriate place. and it's not really my place to talk about these kinds of things. Everyone's talking about it. I said what I needed to say, and that's it. Nothing I say will be the perfect thing, so said the best thing I could, and that's just the truth. So back to the video. Anyway, so I've got my notes here of what we're going to talk about, and I'm also going to be doing a makeup look again because I keep doing that, and I've decided that I like doing makeup chatty videos. I like talking while I'm doing a simple makeup look. It's better than just sitting and talking, right, and not doing anything else. So the last video I uploaded, I did a full-on red look, and this time I'm doing just black. I've got the picture here, but I'll also show the actual picture there. And so we're going to try to do that. It's really crazy, but this is just for fun. It's not for wearing out and about. And so I also think this won't take very long. I think it'll be a really quick one to do. So let's get started talking. So right now it's June. This video is a recap of May. And in May, hold on, I need my notes. Okay, so in May I had to lift weights 5 times a week and work out 3 times a week and do my yoga and meditation. So let's talk about that really quick. So the lifting weights went perfectly. I think from the start of the year, I have not missed a single day of lifting weights, that I have to lift weights. In the first month, like I do everything per month, like adding on, which is all explained in my other videos, so if you need to know, go look at those. In the first month of the year, I was probably lifting weights like once a week or twice or something. Every month I add on more days that I have to lift weights. And then working out is just basically running on the elliptical and other stuff if I want to. So the lifting weights went perfectly. The working out went perfectly. I don't think I missed any working out or lifting weights. I've stayed really consistent with that, really good. But with the yoga and meditation, I have not stayed as consistent as I wanted to. I didn't have it planned out like certain days of the week that I have to do yoga and meditation. It was just my goal was to do it consistently every day. Like that's the ultimate goal. And I say yoga and meditation together just because it's easier for me to group them together in my mind. And people say that it's easier to start a habit if you group things together, because then it's like people say, this is what I hear a lot, like brushing your teeth, whatever you do, like think about it in the morning, or you're getting ready, you brush your teeth, put on makeup, something like that, brush your hair, whatever you do. So you group things together so it's easier to do them. It's just like automatic. So I kind of do my meditation after I do yoga so that I create that grouping effect. But I do yoga with Adriene videos, and those are usually like 20 to 30 minutes. Usually most of them are 30 minutes long. And so that's what makes me end up not doing it, is because I'm like, I don't feel like doing something for 30 minutes right now. And also meditation is hard for me, harder than I thought it would be. I get very distracted, and it's hard for me to concentrate and keep my mind blank or empty. And I don't know if that's because of social media corrupting my mind to not be able to concentrate, or if that's just something I've always struggled with. I don't know. But, so meditation is really hard for me, actually. And I can only really do 5 minutes. Sometimes I do 3 minutes, because 5 minutes I feel like is long. So I try my best. But I did do yoga and meditation during May, but I wasn't consistent about it. And so I met the goal. I was just supposed to do it at least like once a week, but I want to do it more consistently. It's really hard. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so cooking, and then there was the fruit plan, which I talked about in, I think, 2 videos ago. I was supposed to be trying one fruit every week, but I gave up. I gave up on it because I didn't feel like eating the fruit. Like, I bought oranges and then I didn't feel like eating them. I'm too picky, and I was trying to do that so that I would try fruits and make myself do it. But then I didn't feel like it every time, so I just ended up not eating them. So it was a waste of money to buy the fruit, and I don't have a ton of money all the time. So I gave up on the fruit, but I have not given up on the cooking. So I'll tell you what recipes I made in May. I was supposed to cook 3 meals, and I know that 2 of them were successes and 1 was a fail, but I counted it as 3 meals of the month because I cooked 1 meal twice. Technically, I think I cooked it 3 times, but basically I cooked 3 meals. I just didn't do 3 different ones because the last one I was trying to do like a bean kind of dish, and I messed up the beans and it didn't work. They were, I can't remember what type of beans they were, but whatever it was, it didn't work. I messed up the beans so badly. I basically burned them and messed it all up. And so then I just gave up on that meal and was like, whatever, I'll try it again another time, because I didn't know how to do the beans correctly. But let me show you what I did make. I don't have the pictures of the recipes of what I cooked, but I've got the cookbook. Hold on. Here's my cookbook, by the way. I don't think I've ever shown it. Maybe I did, but I just got it at Barnes & Noble. It's all vegetarian meals in this because I'm vegetarian. So it's by, there's like a chef. I don't know how to say his name though, so I'm not gonna try. But he is like a chef in London, and they're basically, I think I would describe them as Mediterranean, not Jerusalem, but maybe Israeli foods. I don't really know what, it doesn't say. Unless it doesn't, I don't know where to find what kind of dishes these are. But I would just say maybe Mediterranean because I think it's around that area. So yeah, I would say probably like just, I'm guessing a way to describe it would be like Mediterranean foods, dishes. I don't know, but they're interesting. And the point of me cooking again this year was, number 1, because I'm vegetarian and I'm very picky, and so I'm not a healthy vegetarian. I mean, I'm relatively healthy right now because this has been the goal of this year, but I was like not healthy for years, and I basically would just eat pasta all the time, and I did not know how to cook vegetables really and make balanced dishes. I didn't really cook at all. So the plan was to cook so that I could teach myself how to use vegetables in food, what works, what do I like in food, and how to properly cook them, and to basically broaden my horizons, or I don't know, diversify my palate and experiment with different kinds of foods and vegetables that I don't normally do. And this cookbook has definitely taken me out of my comfort zone, and that was the plan, was to take me out of my comfort zone. And it really has, because this stuff is unlike anything that I've ever had. Most of these dishes in here are so different, and that's why, because they're not American dishes. They're not like European, like in things that I've had before. They're very interesting, and I'm very picky, so it's been very hard, and a lot of the meals don't work out. They don't work out for me. A lot of the ones that I've made have not been fantastic, at least for me. Either I cooked them wrong, which I believe that I probably did, or also I just don't like them because I'm, like I've said a million times, I'm very picky, and there's some interesting flavors in here. Most of these meals are very complex and have contrasting flavors that work, but maybe don't work for me. So anyway, but I have gotten a lot of great recipes out of this that I've enjoyed a lot so far. And there's also a second book, like a sequel to this by the same guy, that's also all vegetarian. So I'll probably get that one someday too. But I'm going to show you in May, and so this one I think might have been my first recipe in May that I made, but I can't really remember. But I made this potato salad. There's the picture. But I didn't do the eggs because the eggs were supposed to be quail eggs. And I was like, where am I going to get quail eggs in Georgia? And like, all I have is like Publix, Kroger, and I have Whole Foods, but Whole Foods doesn't have everything. And so I was like, where am I going to get quail eggs? Also, I don't really like eggs. So I was just like, I'll skip the eggs entirely. But the potatoes ended up fantastic. I made this recipe twice, but I don't remember if I did it in May or April, but I'm counting it as May. I know I made enough recipes in May, but I don't remember now if this was it. Then, oh, here's the bean recipe I was trying to make. Lima beans, that's what it is. There's a picture. See, I thought it looked so good, but I couldn't make it work. I failed on the beans, so someday I'll try this again, but the beans were a fail, so I couldn't cook it. This recipe I did very well on. It's this on this page here, which you can't really see what it says, I guess, but it's pasta and fried zucchini salad. That one I left out the zucchini, so I didn't put zucchini in that one, and that's just because I'm so picky. I don't like zucchini. Someday maybe I'll be able to like it, but I wanted to totally skip it because I was like, I want pasta and I'm not about to ruin this pasta with zucchini. So, but this is the picture of what it looks like in the cookbook. It looked different when I made it because I used a different noodle. I used penne noodles because I couldn't find whatever these ones are. And either way, it doesn't matter. It just was pasta. But it was really fantastic. I loved it. I made that one like 2 or 3 times now. And it's really good. But I left out the zucchini every time. And I think that's all I made in May. And let me tell you, what I've made in June so far, the one thing I did make was really good. So I'll tell you about that in the next video though. So if you want to find out the other recipes, you're going to have to subscribe. And you're going to have to see the next video. Alright, back to this. So, yeah. So the food stuff has been pretty good. I'm getting healthier. I'm getting better at eating things. I am eating smoothies more though, so that's good. And I put in my smoothies banana. No, I don't put banana in. I'm sorry. I used to put bananas in smoothies. But the smoothies I've been making lately, I put in frozen mangoes and frozen pineapples, almond milk, ice obviously, and I think the only other thing I put in is Fit with Cambry's Glowing Goddess. Hold on, I'll go grab it. Alright. So, if you don't know who Fit with Cambry, if you don't know, Cambry is somebody I found through Erica Costell's YouTube channel. And Cambry has a YouTube channel too. It'll be up in the cards. And she's basically just a fitness person. And her company is called Fit with Cambry. And she sells protein powders. There's a vanilla powder and a chocolate powder. I'm gonna get the vanilla powder someday, but I haven't yet because they're kind of expensive, like low key. They're expensive. She sells protein powders, a de-bloat pill thing, but I'm not gonna get that because I don't like pills. So, and then this sorry it's so like bright right now. You can't even see. Okay, there's some shadow. Glowing Goddess greens powder. It's to go in smoothies and stuff, and it's just got like vegetables in it, and I know it's got matcha powder, and there's some fruits in it. There's actually a lot of fruits. It's basically just a bunch of healthy stuff in a powder, and I just put a scoop of this, and it's actually like green. Let me show you, because I think it's the matcha makes it green. I don't want to make a mess. Can you see it? You can kind of see it. I don't want to spill any, but it's green. It smells great. And it's really great in a smoothie. That just made me want to make a smoothie. So for smoothies, I make I use a scoop of this. I use frozen mangoes, frozen pineapples, almond milk, and ice. So this is great. I've been doing smoothies, which is really, really good. And then I've been using an almond milk creamer in my coffee now, because for a while I would have coffee in the morning and I'd have like regular vanilla creamer and that would be it, and sugar. And so I've been wanting to cut back on the sugar in my coffee, number one, and then also switch over to an almond milk creamer. And I found this one. I got one that I didn't like at all because it had coconut milk in it, and I don't like the flavor of coconut milk. It kind of bothers me for some reason. So then I got this one, and this one is actually really, really good. It's by Coffee Mate. I don't know if you can see the little picture. So if you use Coffee Mate already, the vanilla creamer, or honestly other vanilla creamers, this one is actually a really good substitute. It tastes pretty much exactly the same. There's a little bit of a nuttier flavor because of the almond milk, but I think it mixes well with the flavor of coffee. So this one's really good. I'm glad I bought this because I was almost going to give up on almond milk creamer because I thought they'd all be terrible after I tried the first one I got. But this one's fantastic, so I just wanted to show that. Not sponsored, obviously. How in the world would I ever be sponsored? But it's really good, so that one works. That's the food stuff. So I have been doing better with food, doing better with fitness. Okay, so practicing guitar and singing. I did do my guitar practice and stuff. Let's move you back over here. I did my guitar practicing, but I'm still struggling. The strings are still ringing out a lot, so if anybody who watches my channel has any tips to help me out with how to stop it from ringing so terribly, please tell me. I know Alex is subscribed to me and sometimes watches the videos, and I know you play guitar, obviously, and I can always text you and ask you. But if you're watching, comment down below, how do I stop the ringing? I'm trying to press harder with my fingers, but it still happens. Maybe I think I'm strumming too hard too. Is it just practice? Will I just get better at it? I don't know. But I'm struggling with that. And I need to practice more, but I don't practice enough. So that's a problem. And then singing is doing all right, but now that with coronavirus closing down my school, basically driving to campus all the time, it's like an hour away, I would just sing the whole time, and that was really good for my voice. But now, I mean, obviously it's summer now, so I wouldn't be practicing as much anyway. But so hopefully in the fall, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully campus is open and the classes are in person and I get to practice again my singing properly. Because, man, I am not practicing enough, and I can tell that my voice is not so strong at the moment. Another thing that I was supposed to do in May was to read 30 minutes a day, and that is separate from reading the Bible, because I was reading the Bible, and I think the plan in May was only to read like twice a week or something, but that's not the situation. Here's my Bible. That's not the situation now, because Julian and I, like I said in another video, Julian and I have been reading the Bible pretty much every day. We only take a break once a week, and it's because we were trying to like read the whole Bible in a year, but that's not happening. Like, I think we're not on the right track because we're only doing 2 chapters. Wait, not two chapters, right? Yeah, 2 chapters a day. Yeah, 2 chapters. I don't know. I'm not the best. I don't know Bible language yet, terminology. But so we've been reading 2 chapters a day. So we're not really on track to finish in a year, but it's fine. It's really hard, like, to keep up with that, but I have been keeping up pretty much. Sometimes I'll get off track, but I just catch up on our break day. So the reading 30 minutes a day is separate. I'm supposed to be reading a book, and right now I'm reading Dune because the movie's coming out, the new movie with Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya and Rebecca Ferguson, and then also to other people. The movie's coming out. Don't know when. The trailer's not out yet, but I'm reading this because of that, because I'm very excited for the movie. And It's also by the director who did Blade Runner 2049, my favorite movie right now. So I'm excited for that movie, this Dune movie. I'm only like this far. Can you see? So not very far at all, but doing all right. So that shows you I have not been reading 30 minutes every day. It's not been very good. I didn't do well with that plan. It's hard. It's hard to, like I said before with the meditation, I struggle with concentration on something and I get bored. And so it's hard for me to want to sit and just concentrate on something for 30 minutes. When I'm doing other things like painting or sewing or anything, usually if it's a hand done thing, I can have something playing in the background, whether I'm listening to music or watching something. So then I'm doing two things at a time, multitasking or whatever, and I'm not bored. But when I'm trying to just read, it's hard. It's like I don't want to do it. Like I don't desire to sit and read for 30 minutes. I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I'm trying to make myself do it. It's hard though. It definitely is hard. I've been good so far this week because I'm also doing 30 minutes during June. 30 minutes a day is the goal. So I've been better this week, but it's definitely not easy. This is a crazy makeup look. This is crazy. Okay, then also a thing for May was I was supposed to watch one movie in the month. And that's because I have a super duper long list of movies to watch and I'm so behind and there's so many movies to watch. I'm trying to make a dent in my movie watch list. This is like really hard for me to see what I'm doing. And I've got makeup on my nose now, so that's not good. Okay. So in May I watched All About Eve because it was the next movie on my list, and I don't remember when it came out. Could have been 40s, 50s. I don't think 60s, but I watched that. It was pretty good. It wasn't one of my favorite movies of all time. It wasn't fantastic or anything, but it was interesting to like see a movie that old because I hadn't watched anything like that before, I don't think. So it was kind of nice, and it was like cool to hear how they were talking and stuff. And Betty Davis was, I think that's her name, was the main actress, and she was like actually really, really good. And I just know about her from that 80s song Betty Davis Eyes or whatever. So anyway, she was pretty good though. That was the movie of the month, All About Eve. And then I did a painting, because that was the other thing for May, was that I was supposed to do one painting. And I will show you the painting. But I already showed the painting in my vlog for May, which if you want to watch that, that'll be up in the cards. It shows the whole process of painting and the plan, when I was planning it out, why I chose to do this, and all that stuff. So go watch that if you want to see that. Here's the painting. I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know how well you can see this. But it is Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, and I believe the picture that I took as reference for this was a screenshot from Age of Ultron, I think. But Age of Ultron is not one of the best ones. I'm just going to say that right now. I know that's the truth, but it doesn't matter because he looked good in it. And the screenshot, the picture that I used was great. And so I explain everything in the vlog. So go over to the vlog if you want to know what went down with this. But this is the finished painting. So yes, a painting done in May. That was done from the list. I pretty much did everything that I was supposed to do during May. It was pretty much a success. The only things I struggled with were the reading 30 minutes a day and doing my yoga and meditation properly like I wanted to. But other than that, I pretty much got everything done. Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty much on track in seeing improvements and whatever. So, anyway, so May was pretty much a success. I'm definitely feeling more inspired creatively because I had a creative block basically for a couple years, but now I'm finally starting to feel like back in my groove creatively, and like I have all sorts of ideas of art to make and plans and stuff, so doing pretty well with that. Alright, this is almost done. Just, I think, have like one more thing I'll do. It's very different than the picture, but that's the picture. It looks really messy in the picture, and I don't know how to do that without making it look like an accident. So last thing I guess I'll talk about is the music I've been listening to, because I talked about that in the first, not in the first video, but in the Sawayama makeup video. And I just thought I'd mention again the music that I've been listening to, just as recommendations. I've been listening to the Blade Runner soundtrack a lot. This is just gonna look like clown makeup now, isn't it? After I just did this. Oh no, this is not good. Hold on. Maybe not. I don't know. It just looks crazy. Oh god. I told you this would be a crazy look. I told you. Subscribe for more crazy looks, because this is what I'm going to be doing. I told you. I warned you. Okay? Anyway, so Blade Runner, the first one specifically, I've been listening to the soundtrack from that, the one by, I think it's Vangelis. It is just so good. I think it's the best soundtrack from any movie ever, at least that I've heard. And I love just like listening to it. I look so scary. I look scary. This is a scary look. It's not Halloween. It looks scary. I apologize. I'm not trying to be scary. Anyway, Blade Runner soundtrack. Listen to it. It's fantastic. My favorite song on it is Tales of the Future, I believe that's the one. So good. It's kind of freaky too. Okay, if you listen to that song and then you look at what I've done with my makeup, then you're gonna know. You'll learn a little bit about me if you listen to that song and then look at my makeup right now. You'll be like, okay, it makes sense. I just love that song. It's just so interesting. It's a crazy vibe. It's not even crazy. It's just good. I'm trying to justify my liking that song by calling it crazy, but honestly, it's not crazy. It's just plain good. And if you think it's weird, then fine. Like, it is kind of weird, but I like it. So that's the best one on the soundtrack. I've been listening to that. And then, what else? Sawayama, the album by Rina Sawayama. So good. At first, I only liked the first 4 songs, but now I'm liking all of them pretty much. I don't really like Chosen Family very much. And then Snakeskin, I like some of the production on it, but I don't love that one. But Chosen Family specifically, I'm not super into. But overall, the album is really great. I love how it's made. I love the sounds. It feels nostalgic to me. So I've been listening to that. I've also been listening to The Weeknd's album still. I know, I mentioned that in that other video, but it is so good. So I keep listening to that. And then been listening to Blue Oyster Cult more, and then listening to Metallica some more, because I've listened to both of them before, but I'm just like listening to more of their music that previously I didn't think I liked, but I'm getting more accustomed to it. And then listening to the Sharp Objects playlist, my Sharp Objects playlist. I'll link it in the description if you want to listen to it, but it's got like Led Zeppelin and other stuff, and also the Rolling Stones, some Eagles, Blue Oyster Cult, and all sorts of stuff like that on that playlist. Just things that give me that summer vibe, from inspired by Sharp Objects, specifically the show. And if you haven't ever watched that, you should watch it, but I think it's only on HBO, but it's fantastic. So that's all the stuff I've been listening to, and then I've just been watching YouTube to try to catch up because I'm really behind on my subscriptions. Alright, this is the scariest thing. I am so sorry. I don't know how you're watching this right now. I feel like I look scary and insane. I'm so sorry. I look stupid and scary. I'm so sorry, but it is what it is. I feel like it's too much like It or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Now see, if you saw a model with this eye makeup, would you think it looked cool? Maybe not. But all I'm saying is it just because it's me that it looks so terrible? I don't know how to do makeup well, so I'm really just fooling around. So let me have this. I don't know. That's that though. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore, and I'm pretty much done with this video. It's not one of my best videos and not one of my best eye looks at all, but I think it's okay anyway. So regardless, I usually make better content than this, so if you're seeing this and thinking, this is really weird and messed up, and not messed up, this is lame and weird, don't worry, I make better stuff than this. So if you're interested, click the subscribe button if you want to see how this year goes and how I change my life in a year. And other than that, if you are subscribed, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. All right, bye.